The hardest people to teach, without question, are the students that are new to a subject. And it's not that they're stupid, and it's not that they don't want to learn, but you learned this so long ago, it's so ingrained in you, that it's really, really hard for you as a teacher to take a step back to teach the fundamentals. Really hard. My father loved the idea of learning how to use a computer, but could never figure out how to learn how to use the computer. He finally figured out the mouse, got that down pretty well, but, he'd still be much happier with a typewriter. To me, picking up a mouse, there's nothing to it. You pick it up, you move the mouse, you do what you need to do. He could not get his mind grasped around, how do I hold it? He really had a basic problem with the fundamentals. What I was really doing in that example is I was teaching the fundamental of audio mixing. I was teaching the concept of audio levels, which determine the volume of audio, are essential to understanding what's in the foreground, what's in the background, what's in the middle. You can't just simply say, make the sound softer. What's softer? How do you measure softer? It's like a squishy term. So if I say, put your music at -24, okay, now people say, okay, -24, I can do that. It's right there on the meters. I can find it. I can successfully do that. I may or may not be able to make it softer, but can I hit -24? Yeah, sure, I can do that. Oh, and I need to have my sound effects a little bit louder than that, say around -12. Okay, it's at the meters. I'm automatically being successful. But what I'm really doing is something much more important, which is teaching the fundamentals. What is audio? What is video? What is frame rate? What is technology? What is a codec? Well, this is all stuff that, you and I bandy about because we are technical geeks and know this stuff since the beginning of time. But students don't. So where do we start? We start with saying, well, of course you like the HEVC codec H.264, of course, this old style, and nobody uses ProRes except professionals. And suddenly we're like way over their heads, and they have no clue what language we're talking about. But if I take the time to say, okay, a codec describes how we manage to get video squeezed onto a hard disk, and the codec we use, which stands for compressor-decompressor, the codec we use determines image quality and file size and what kind of computers can edit it and what plays it back. I mean, it's the whole definition of what a piece of digital video is. Once I explain that first, then I talk about codecs, everybody's with me. But we always want to skip the fundamentals. We want to skip the definitions. We want to get to the sexy stuff. Do you realize if I do motion tracking on this thing and I flip this switch, the motion tracking inverts, and all of a sudden I'm tracking the background, not the foreground? And look at this, hootie kazootie, this could not, well, you're waxing eloquent and they're falling asleep in the chair because they have no idea what you're talking about.